Alright, I'm going to be going over poor highs and lows versus protected highs and lows and some things to look for. So I mainly look at the DOM whenever I'm taking trades, but it's very useful to have the footprint on the side. I normally have the footprint on one of my other monitors just to see the delta per candle and whatnot. So some things to look at for a protected high or low. I'll show some examples, but you want to see the tapering of volume. So whenever we build value, the highs and lows are made with little to no volume, like this, right? The volume tapers down to little to no volume, so there's almost nothing down there. So you want to see that volume taper off, indicating that it could be a high or low. You want to see some trap traders, alright. You want to see selling in, and then you want to see them get trapped. And if there's a lot of delta coming into a low, so like negative 1,000 for example, and then we flip and we start to move up, these players are going to have to flatten positions, so they're going to end up buying, helping the move go higher. So you want to see those trapped down there. You want to see an imbalance leaving that high or low within the 3 ticks. And you also want to see the delta flip. Alright, so you can take note of this or just remember it. It's not too complicated. Alright, so up here I have an example. And this is actually a trade I took today. So we are approaching my level, which was, here you can see my level was essentially like this extreme. Alright, and I wanted us to reject it and return to the value up here and play kind of a failed auction. So I saw us have negative delta moving down in here. Alright, this candle, a lot of sellers, as well as this candle, a lot of selling in. What I saw on the DOM is players starting to get in bid. We had 300, 400, just a lot of passive players absorbing all this selling right around here. So I went long, I think it was 36 halves. I went long here and ended up going break even, getting stopped out here. But I knew it was risky because of this. We didn't taper in the volume over here. We didn't taper. We had no trapped. You don't see a 0 here. Alright. Obviously this negative delta, they're going to have to flatten their trades, but you want to see a 0 down here to make it strong. As you can see here, we have zeros. We had no imbalance to the upside in these 3 ticks right here. We had one over here and here, but we didn't end these 3 ticks. And the only thing we had was a delta flip, right? The delta goes from negative 1,000, basically evens, and then 650s and up. So this was a 1 out of 4. It met 1 out of 4 of our criteria, so it was a poor low. And over here we tried bidding up past this, and passive sellers ended up filling positions and then selling back into this low. Alright, so that's an example of a poor low. Alright, now if we go to an example of a protected high or a strong high, here we have that aggressive buying coming up, right? Relative positive delta. As we come to our extreme, the delta starts to really increase. Alright, and then here the volume really tapers off. Alright, there starts to be little volume as we try to trade higher. So yes, the volume tapers off. Yes, there's trap traders up here. and then there's an imbalance right after that in the first 3 ticks. So yes, there's an imbalance, and the delta does flip. You see we have positive, positive, and then we flip to negatives, and then it starts to get aggressive as we come in here, right? And then we start to play into these sort of imbalances, right, and continue our move further. But this is a strong high, so it met all of our criteria. It's not perfect, but it met our criteria pretty well, so that's a strong high. And this was like 11:53 New York. All right, so let me get another example. Hold on. All right, so here's another example. I wasn't able to take this trade because I was away, but so some context to this, right? We were in value right here, and it was up to 21s. This is our kind of extreme of the value. We ended up breaking out, and so there, we want higher prices, right? And we have these imbalances, of course, so you can refer to that. So what do? So we come down into here. We want to see if this is going to be a strong low. So we have that selling coming in, and let's just write down what we see. All right, so the tapering of the volume, you can see it tapers off. It was a little strong here, but it tapers off. So yes, vol tapers. All right. Then we also need to see our trapped. We do have trapped. It's 15, but you just want to see that 0. All right. Obviously, most of the sellers in this candle are trapped. All right. So yes. All right. We also have that imbalance being formed right after it's put in. So yes, imbalance formed. And then we also see that delta flip. We go from negative 1.3K, negative 200, and then we're up almost 1K. So that delta clearly is flipping here. So yes, delta flip. So here we met 4 out of 4. Protected slash strong low. All right, so this is a strong low, and you could have gone bid. Maybe you choose to get bid right here where some buyers were shown, or maybe you just limited this imbalance rebid of the extreme, right? And then obviously once we have this aggressive candle, you can scale in here and do whatever, but this is a good example of a strong low from right here. So this is your strong low, and we can check to see if that gets taken out, and it doesn't. That's actually a very, very nice low, right? So I don't want to show too much examples, right? I think 3 examples fine, but you get the concept of this, right? And the knowledge behind it, right? You obviously want to see that volume taper off, right? Because it's a low of value normally, right? At these lows, volume tapers off. So you want to see that volume taper off. Then you want to see some form of trap traders. You normally want to see a 0 at the bottom. Obviously the candles negative 1.3K. These guys are going to flatten their positions as we go up, like around here, maybe some flatten theirs here, right? And then you want to see that imbalance. This is just something to confirm buyers started to step in down here really early on. And then we have some here. and obviously here. And then you just want to see that delta flip to really confirm us the rotation of the market, right? So yeah, that's pretty much it for this video. Just going over that there's ways to see protected highs and lows with the DOM and whatnot, but you have to be more experienced to see that. I mean, I'm not even that experienced yet, but here on this trade, obviously it was a poor low, but I did see a lot of aggressive buying down here, so I was willing to take that risk of getting stopped, or in this case break even, because I saw so much buyers coming in, and I was only taking this for like 10 points to VWAP, or I think it was 12 from my entry. But regardless, yeah, this is a pretty simple way of viewing that. 11-minute video, not too long, but yeah.